What's going on, guys? It's Olympia weekend, and I feel like giving back to you guys to show some appreciation for all the support you guys give me. So at hostile.com, we're going to do free shipping for US orders only till tomorrow night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern, and use code Olympia to get the free shipping. Pick the standard shipping option. Doesn't matter if you order one thing or if you order 10 things, you're going to get free shipping from hostile.com. Use code Olympia. Thank you, guys. It's just a little bit of appreciation from me for all the support you guys give me and my company and the podcast. So thank you guys very much. Enjoy the Olympia. Thanks for watching. What's going on, guys? The Real Bodybuilding Podcast, and this is the Olympia Men's Open Bodybuilding Prejudging Wrap-Up. And wow, what a good show, man. I just sat down and watched. Sorry I couldn't do the live feed. As you guys know, most of the guys are at the Olympia, so I didn't want to just do it by myself or, you know, with one other person or whatever. So I just thought I'm just going to watch the show and enjoy it. So, but this is my wrap-up, my commentary on what I saw. I'll start from the top. Ramy, incredible. Probably not as sharp as last year, but still think he's good enough to be in first tonight. I don't think he wowed anybody. He wasn't like head over heels better than last year. He didn't make any crazy improvements. If anything, he maybe slipped like 5%, 2%. Very, very slight slip. But like I said, still enough, I think, to be walking out of prejudging as the winner. Second, we have Brandon. Brandon Curry came back, looks amazing. I'll be honest with you guys, when I saw the press conference, I'm like, man, his face looks really full. I'm like, and I know that's not really a good way to judge, but I'm like, I wonder if he's going to be in shape. Looked incredible. Came out. Brandon's shape is just so perfect. It's one of the prettiest shapes on stage. His legs actually looked like they were up a little bit in size, which made him look a little bit more balanced from top to bottom. His conditioning was good. Not the best in the show, but very, very good. And that combined with his shape, I think has him in a solid second. I don't think anybody can overcome Brandon except for Ramy. And it's going to be those guys 1 and 2. Obviously, they could flip. I have Ramy in first, Brandon second right now. I just think they did the final call out with the two of them. They did Ramy and Brandon side by side. And I think shot for shot, you could look at Brandon and say he's a prettier physique, but if you're just looking at purely broad bodybuilding criteria, I just think Ramy has too much of everything. And I don't think Brandon's conditioning was so much better that it would overtake Ramy's size. So you gotta have a matchup of tons of muscle and tons of shape, even conditioning. And I think when you do that and you go shot for shot, I really think Ramy's going to hold his own and walk away on top, unless something changes tomorrow. But that's for tonight. I think he's on top. But like Brandon, awesome job. He came back. He looked thicker up top. Legs looked a little better. Like really, really great package. Then it gets interesting. So we had a first call out that kind of got convoluted afterwards because they brought back a bunch of other guys. So they had Ian, William Bonac, Nick, Hunter, Hottie, and Justin Rodriguez, I believe. And Hottie was extremely amazing looking when he came out by himself. I was like, man, Hottie's going to be second place for sure. I had no doubt. The way he looked, the conditioning was so crisp between him and Nick, probably the best conditioning in the show. And I mean, Ian was obviously up there as well with conditioning, but those three guys, like phenomenal conditioning. And the only thing is Hottie looked smaller than I expected when you put him in the lineup. By himself, I'm like, that's second place on lock, maybe even first. I was like, he may beat Ramy. When you put him in the lineup, he does give up a lot of size, and you can see now where the 212 competitor is versus the open class competitor. Very, very quality physique, very complete, awesome conditioning, beautiful to look at. But standing next to Hunter, who has extremely nice shape as well, maybe not as conditioned, but when he has extremely nice shape and is a lot bigger than Hottie, I think Hunter could move ahead of Hottie. I think I have actually Hunter in fourth. I have Hottie actually, and I only brought him up because I thought he was going to be in the top three. I have Hottie actually moving to fifth. So I skipped over Nick. I actually have Nick in third. Nick and Hunter was a really interesting battle. I thought, going into the show, I don't think many people gave Hunter, except for Ben. Ben said Hunter, I have a list here. Ben said Hunter was going to be fifth. So a lot of people didn't have Hunter in the top 6 and came in a little sharper than previous shows. And him and Nick was actually a really, really good battle. Different physiques. One is solid mass, very, very conditioned. I think Nick has third right now on lock after prejudging, and I'll tell you why. I think primarily his conditioning was a little better than Hunter's, and the professionalism that Nick shows on stage, man, he didn't move. Like, he walks out there, gets into that front relaxed, gets into his poses, whatever pose he's in, and he doesn't move as he's stuck. And it's so nice to see that level of professionalism with that level of preparations. Tan was awesome. Conditioning was awesome. His waist actually looked a little smaller than last week or 2 weeks ago, sorry, which was kind of incredible that it looked a little better this time out, only 2 weeks later. But Nick was very, very good. And I definitely have Nick in third. I have Hunter in fourth. Shockingly, I didn't have him in fourth going into the show, but his mass, like, I didn't think Hunter was that big, but he actually looked bigger than Nick in some poses, structurally and muscularity wise. And I think if he was sharper, or if he comes back sharper tomorrow, him and Nick may switch places. I don't know, but that's going to be a really good battle. Hunter's got some work to do though. The only knock on Hunter I saw was he could be a touch sharper. This is the best I've seen him for sure. Like, this is the best Hunter I've seen. I think he could be a touch sharper. And the other thing is, if you're going to stand next to Nick, you're going to have to hold your poses longer, because it makes the other people standing next to him look like they're tired. If you're shifty and you're moving around your poses a lot, and then a guy next to you is not, he's stuck in a pose and he's banging it out, it's going to make you look not as polished. So those are two things I think Hunter could do tomorrow to close that gap or even pull ahead of Nick, is because those are two things he could fix overnight. If he just really practices posing all night, really kind of gets that mental focus on stage, he could potentially fix that. And then dryness he can do overnight as well. So that's going to be a really good battle tomorrow. Hadi I have in fifth. Like I said, everything about him is amazing. Shape, conditioning, muscularity. I just feel like he's giving up some size compared to Nick and Hunter, and I think that might be the thing. But if Hunter slips tomorrow, Hadi could pull ahead. And that's the only way. But I think Hunter is probably going to get better by tomorrow, so that could be tough for Hadi to jump ahead of him. Bonac was interesting. I thought Bonac could have been. I really wanted to see the matchup between Bonac and Nick. I have Bonac in sixth right now. I mean, Hadi and Bonac, I didn't get to see that comparison, or maybe that was the first one, but I wasn't paying attention as much to it. It was in the very first call out, I think, actually. But I wasn't paying as much attention to it. But those two, I'm not sure who's going to be fifth or sixth. I have Hadi in fifth, and I have Bonac in sixth. I didn't feel like Bonac was as great as we've seen him in the past. His touch off, and I just really like Hadi's physique. So my personal opinion is I have Hadi at fifth, Bonac sixth. And then I think we have Ian after that. I think Bonac is pulled ahead of Ian. Ian's conditioning is very good. This is all going by live stream, so I don't want anybody to think, in person, obviously this could be very different, but judging by the live stream, I felt like Ian was better at the Arnold's and even better than that in Texas. Now, those could be lighting issues. It could be like the live stream, and one show could be different than another show. So I don't know, but I felt like Ian's best showing this year was Texas. The Arnold was a very, very close second. Very, very close. Yeah, very close second. And then this showing here, I don't think was his best. Still very good, still very conditioned, still very dense, one of the thicker guys on stage. And I think that's going to put him in seventh again. So he'll probably be in the seventh spot again. And then we have the rest of the guys. So some notables. James, I felt like he came out, looked great, had good shape. From the back, he was definitely harder from the front, harder from the back than he was from the front. That to me usually says something about fullness. Maybe he could have been a little fuller. I don't know. Patrick's a very, very good coach, so I'm sure they'll have it figured out by tomorrow. But I felt, usually in my experience, when you're super conditioned from the back and you're not holding, but the muscle's a little flat from the front, so it doesn't look as sharp. It's usually a fullness factor. So he could have been a little flat. That's why James wasn't popping the way we all expected. So that could be part of that. Another notable was Reagan. I thought Reagan was much improved, but it's crazy. The guy's taller and he's got such a big frame. Even though he's improved, still looks like he needs to put on more mass, but I really love his shape. And I had some notes here. I just trying to think if there's some other notables. You know, a few guys came in off. I thought Rolly came in bigger than he did previously this year, but he's still off. Hassan had the same kind of story throughout the rest of the year, just kind of needs to nail that conditioning. Mo Shaban looked great. I thought he was pretty balanced. I thought his conditioning was pretty good. I thought his best showing of the year was probably California, the first show when he was his freshest. And I think this was a close second. I thought he was good tonight, but it's a tough lineup, and that's going to leave him a little bit further down the ranks. So that was kind of my assessment of the show, guys. Other than that, I thought the lighting was a little bit distracting. They had a lot of like psychedelic kind of lighting while guys were posing. It kind of threw me off, at least during the individual rounds. I don't know if they were doing it during comparisons, but during the individual rounds, it was kind of throwing me off with the lighting and the psychedelic background they had going and all that. So that kind of hit me weird. Other than that, I don't know. The commentary was good. I felt like, Lee Haney's always class. I feel like there's a lot of overly critical commentary and not enough teachable commentary for the audience. The way I like to see it is, I'm sure there are a lot of people watching the bodybuilding show that don't know the ins and outs of bodybuilding, and I feel like that's what the commentary is there for, is to teach why people are being positioned a certain way. So I didn't get to hear a lot of that. So that's just my opinion on the commentary, because it's something I kind of pay attention to now. I don't know if anybody else does, but that's something I was thinking about while I was watching. Other than that, awesome show, man. Super. I wish my only other wish is that they would have compared them more. I know the guys get tired and they don't want to make them go around and around, but I would have liked to see some more 3-block comparisons, maybe Hadi, Bonac, Nick, maybe, Hunter, Nick, and Ian, some 3-block poses where we can really, really break down their physiques and really get everybody compared. Kind of felt like they only did 4 or 5 comparisons. So they could have done a couple more, but I think they obviously saw what they wanted to see, and they know where everybody stands. So that's my assessment of the Olympia. I thought it was great. I can't wait for tomorrow. Thanks guys for watching. The other thing I want to say was, tomorrow I may be doing a live feed. I'm not sure. It depends who's available. If there is nobody available, I'll do another wrap up tomorrow night of the finals, and I hope to see you guys there. So thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, live hostile. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hostile and myself. And lastly, check out hostile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.